Megatron had a game and a half today, but it was Stafford's fake spike TD run in the final minute that sealed the deal for Detroit. QBs usually spike in that situation, and he probably even surprised his offensive line there. A second half offensive explosion by both teams and a huge day by Megatron made it an even better game than we expected. And you could argue this was the game of the year so far. And sure, football is a consummate team sport, but really, I mean, who doesn't love a good wide receiver battle? Dez Bryant versus Calvin Johnson. And give Dez credit for earning the right to now be in the best wide receiver conversation. I mean, he had an okay game today, but Calvin may have put more distance between the two with today's performance. Calvin has been bothered by a knee lately, and the crazy part is that he actually looked gimpy on certain plays, but he ended up with more receiving yards than Romo had passing yards. This was Calvin's first 300-yard game and his fifth 200-yard receiving game, which ties an NFL record. And he was just 7 yards shy of breaking the single-game NFL receiving mark. Now, from a fantasy perspective, Calvin was definitely the story, but Matt Stafford entered the game first in passing yards, and with 488 more yards today, that shouldn't change. And if you're like me, you picked him up very late in your fantasy draft, and now you can't turn down trade offers fast enough. Next week, Dallas is home versus Minnesota, and Detroit is on a bye, so maybe Calvin can heal up a bit, as scary as that sounds. For more on these two teams, check out SB Nation's Cowboys and Lions blogs, Blogging the Boys and Pride of Detroit.